What is up, people? Welcome back to another video on this YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing my live Legends hits. I'm currently using this Root Rider Army right here with the Rage Gem and the Healing Tome on the Warden. We were able to go perfect, and slightly different today, we decided to do voiceovers rather than live commentary on my hits to just help me concentrate a bit more as we are so close to EOS. So without further ado, let's get into these hits. Okay, so the first base that we find is this double poison base. We have the 3 isolated single infernos, which can be a bit of a nuisance, but I generally think they're pretty bad. And then of course we have this hook tower, which I think the hook tower is just not worth bringing. If you want to bring any kind of defense, bring the what's it called, the multi-mega crusher mortar. I don't know why I always forget that name. Anyways, as you can see, I'm going for the spirit walk into the single inferno here. We did get kind of lucky there that she did end up going in. I'm not sure if it was baited that those Teslas were there to stop her from going in, but nonetheless, she did go in, and we're going to get the value that we wanted. So we're going to get this Poison Tower, we're going to get the Air Sweeper, we're going to get the Fire Spitter, and we're going to get the Ricochet Cannon just about. I was pondering here if I should recall, but I decided to go for the Ricochet Cannon as well, which maybe was a bit of a mistake. Got a little bit lucky that she didn't get Ability Force there, but nonetheless, we did get the Ricochet Cannon down. Now we're going to start the Queen up, we're going to go with an Ice Golem to freeze up that Ricochet Cannon. And we're going to go with a bit of a funny first overgrowth here. It's hard to explain why, but I just decided to overgrowth the Town Hall here. And that is simply because it would have been too much damage at the start. With all of these defenses, there's actually a lot of core defenses. The 2 strongest heroes in the game, or defensive heroes anyways. And as you can see, it's worked out quite nicely. We're going to be right on top of the Town Hall as this first overgrowth wears off. Now that Fire Spear is hitting us, and the Hook Tower is just about to be in range of some of my troops, so I'm going to go with an overgrowth on both of those targets there as well, covering the monolith. I'm going to pop the Warden ability as well as we move into this Poison Tower. So right now we're looking really good. I will break the King into the multi there with the Skelly spell on that single Inferno, sorry, not the multi. We have a bit of a weird split of Root Riders. I'm starting up some of the cleanup super barbs on the outside of the base. We have the Rocket Spear active, which kind of wanted the RC to go in and grab the mono for me, but as you can see, we have the King and Queen ability. We're just going to spam that. We still have a free spell as well, so we're looking really strong here. We just freeze the Expo, and yeah, this is a nice 3-star to start off the day. Next base then is this Invis Rage base with the Hook Tower. Now, I generally think this base is absolutely trash because this Spirit Walk into the Merge Cannon is way too good. I suppose they could bait it a little bit, but there's not a lot of space for bait whatsoever. And you can really easily take down this section, as you can see here, which is what I decide to do. Now, if you watched my guide on how to tackle these Invis bases, you would know that I'm going for a Spirit Walk on the opposite side of the Town Hall. I'm entering with the Root Riders into the opposite side of the Town Hall, so that when the first overgrowth wears off, I'm on top of the Town Hall and I can grab it nice and easy. So I'll show you guys what I mean there. Unfortunately, my RC does go in here and triggers the Invis, which is okay, I suppose. But at the same time, it's going to make my timings a little bit off when my Root Riders approach the Invis tower. So anyways, we start the Root Riders up, we overgrowth the entire core. So this is what I'm talking about. Hopefully I can show you guys what I mean by the second overgrowth wears off, we're on top of the Town Hall. As you can see, we're going into the Giga Bomb, looking really strong right now. Take a lot of damage, of course, from the Giga Bomb, but what's important is that my Fox is nice and healed up. Unfortunately, we do lose the Diggy there to the Hook Tower, and then a, what's that thing called? A Booger. So, as you can see, hopefully this demonstrates that I can now pop the Warden ability, and as you can see, we are right on top of the Town Hall. We make sure to funnel everything into the base with the Super Barbs. So yeah, this base just generally has a lot of weaknesses, where as you can see, I'm able to really easily funnel everything back into the base because there's not a lot of defenses around that 5 o'clock area, and we're just starting up with the cleanup now, and this base is absolutely smashed. King is in a great spot, which is pop ability when the the overgrowth wears off, and as you can see, this Rage Tower, these Fire Spitters, the Inferno does absolutely nothing. Pop the Queen ability, and this one is absolutely smashed. So let's get right into the next attack. Attack number 3, and we have yet again another Invis Rage base. Now this base doesn't scare me anymore. I know a lot of you guys struggle with this style of base. Don't worry, it's completely normal. Once you've attacked these bases a couple times in FCs and in Legends, you'll have no troubles whatsoever with this style of base. Although this did throw me off guard a little bit, this attack, I must admit. So, as you can see, opposite side of the Town Hall with the Spirit Walk. My main goal here is to get down the Fire Spitter, because that thing is so annoying on this base if you can't get it down. So that's my goal here. Take a bit of unfortunate damage to the RC and the Fox, but I don't know, nothing that could have been avoided, I guess. We're going into the Fire Spitter. We use one more Invis spell, and I can't remember, do I recall here? I think I recall, yeah. So we have the 2 Invis spells. We're going to use 1 to, of course, trigger the Invis Tower. We're going to start the Queen up, the Ice Golem, and we're going to trigger the Invis Tower like so. Start the Warden, the Root Riders, everything in, and what we do need to be careful of is that Crusher Mortar around those Ice Golems. If we get frozen up at the wrong time, that Crusher Mortar is going to be absolutely devastating. It can easily snipe your Apprentice Warden and stuff. So as you can see, it's locked onto my Root Riders here. I decide to just Invis my Root Riders and use my Invis spell there. And as you can see, it kind of retargets, and the bounces aren't actually hitting a lot. And we stun it, so we pretty much... what's the word? We deal with that quite nicely, I suppose. And as you can see, we're right on top of this Town Hall to go in and grab the Town Hall. So I hope these 2 attacks really demonstrate that I'm entering with the opposite side of the Town Hall, so that when the first Overgrowth wears off, I can use the second Overgrowth, and I can easily get down the Town Hall, which is, of course, the main target in this attack. So we're going to pop the RC ability in just a moment so that she can turn around and grab the Rage Tower. Bit unfortunate on the timings here. I think this base would have been a lot more crushed if, of course, my Root Riders didn't spread to the outside a second that Overgrowth wore off. If the Root Riders stayed in the core there, and, you know, the Overgrowth wore off maybe 2 seconds beforehand, I think this would look a lot more smashed. But the RC, nonetheless, is in the core. She does have the Fox still alive. And yes, it is getting quite close. However, RC alive, Giant alive, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this attack. I do think this is the best way to approach these Invis bases. I don't know if any of you guys have any better approaches for these bases. Just let me know. I'd love to hear what you're doing in Legends. So, without further ado, let's get into the next attack. Next base then, we have this double poison set up. Now, looking for a Spirit Walk here, and I thought, wow, that multi-mortar with the Minion Prince and the mono there is going to be so heavily baited. So I find a nice Spirit Walk here, really nice Spirit Walk. I'm going to go into this mortar, and I don't know if you guys spotted that Spirit Walk as well, but as you can see, we get the path into that multi archer tower, and then the multi-gear cannon. And I wasn't sure where she would go after that. I don't know, you know, I only had like a couple seconds to plan there, but as you can see, we've got this beautiful path into this poison tower, right? I mean, look at that. So we're going to get the Expo down, we're going to get the poison tower down, and we're going to get the scatter shot down, all from the Spirit Walk, also the multi-gear cannon. So really, really good value. I'm probably going to have no issues now with this base. To be honest, as soon as the Spirit Walk goes right, that's all you really need. So I go with the recall that I could have Invis, but I wouldn't have been able to get the Town Hall down regardless. Would have been able to do some damage to it, but under the poison spell, we would have taken some more damage to the Fox and other things like that. Bit unfortunate, my Queen gets locked onto here, so I use the Invis spell to kind of keep her ability alive. And we're going to start the King. Oh, I did think I started the King, but I think I mistaken my King. What am I even saying? Anyways, let's forget I ever said anything. We're going to go with the Overgrowth on the Town Hall as usual. We start the King with the Witches on the outside, and we're going to try and keep this funnel nice and tight. Putting in the Archer nice and early, try and just snipe that army camp ahead of time a little bit. But to be fair, you probably don't even need to. Anyways, as you can see, we have all hero abilities. 50% of the base is down. We've got a couple scary defenses left. We have the Town Hall, the Mono, the the Crusher Mortar. Anyways, I'm going to pop the RC ability here in just a moment to try and take down this Town Hall. We Overgrowth the Mono and the oh my god, I did it again. The Crusher Mortar. Freeze the Town Hall. And as you can see, we have 3 hero abilities. We have the Skelly spell, which we can use on this Mono Minion Prince. We pop the King ability, just try and get through some of those Teslas on the outside of the base nice and quickly. There we go, spamming the rest of the Super Barbs. The Overgrowth is about to wear off, and we can just spam the RC and the Queen ability, because this base is absolutely smashed. And as you can see, all of the RC baits were around the Crusher Mortar. Don't know why I struggled to name that defense so much. But yeah, as you can see, this base is absolutely smashed. Let's get into the next hit. And the next base we have is a tweak of this Wolfie base. We have the hook tower for some reason. I always think just the hook tower is so bad. I mean, it's basically a luck-based defense. I was looking for a Spirit Walk here, and I have used this base in Legends myself, and I know the most annoying Spirit Walk, the best Spirit Walk is right into this mono, and I'm going to show you guys that just with these 5 Invis spells, I'm going to be able to get so much value. It's insane. So we start the Archer, just start the cleanup for when the Root Riders come in. We don't want the Valks to walk. It's quite difficult to keep the Valks under control. However, the best way to do it is just make sure they can only go into the base, of course. Anyways, as you can see, I'm going with a double cycle here, and we are looking really, really good. At this point, I was wondering if I should recall after this Invis here, but I think I saw it. Yeah, she goes into the hook tower, and somehow the Town Hall hasn't taken any shots on our RC, which is a little bit lucky. But as you can see, the value we got there was absolutely crazy. We're going to go in behind the other Fire Spitter. I'm not going to lie, this base is still tricky. But it always tends to be, like when I was using this base, it was always really close on the attacker, but it was always a 3-star. So I did stop using this base eventually. And as you can see, all of the traps are behind this Fire Spitter, which is where I had all of my traps. And you do have the outside Teslas, which are a little bit annoying. He does use a Skelly spell, which I'm not sure is a very good use of a Skelly spell, to be honest. Just outside of the base protecting a Tesla. It only cost me 5 more housing space to get that down. Anyways, the CC is coming out at a bit of an awkward time. And I believe the Town Hall does wake up in just a moment. We go with the Warden ability because there's so much splash damage. We just hit the Giga Bomb. We're on the Poison Tower. The Town Hall's wearing off, and we just simply wait for the other Poison Tower to launch before overgrowthing the other Poison Tower compartment there. We still do have those 2 multi-arch towers on the back, and we get an unfortunate split where 2 Root Riders? Yeah, 2 Root Riders split off into the outside. We pop the King ability there just to try and get the outside cleared nice and quickly. Unfortunately, a Super Barb does find a Spring Trap, so that Tesla is quite annoying, and the overgrowth is wearing off. I decided to save my freeze spell for the enemy Queen, and there you go, we get a nice freeze on the multi, the Queen, and everything. So it looks pretty smashed right now, but as we find more traps, and, you know, a couple of more bits died there, it ends up not looking as crushed as I would have liked it to, you know, considering that Spirit Walk was really, really strong. Actually, you know what? This base is absolutely crushed. We still have all 4 heroes alive, green health. What am I even talking about? This was smashed. Let's get into the next attack. Now, I believe the 6th attack, we have this style of base, which I believe was first created by General X for the World Championships. But as you can see, I think I've seen this base actually on a leak before with the hook tower. This guy's using the Crusher Mortar, which is what I 100% recommend. The Crusher Mortar can be so insanely strong every single attack, whereas the hook tower can be a little bit luck based. You know, sometimes it can do a lot of work, sometimes it can do absolutely nothing. Anyways, in this attack, we don't have to worry about any hook tower doing some silly stuff and locking onto a warden and whatnot. And we're going for a Spirit Walk into this side compartment here. Why am I going to this side compartment? I don't really know, to be fair. I didn't really want a direct approach into the Town Hall because of the way that the Fire Spitter was facing. It's literally directly at the Town Hall. So I think if you Spirit Walked... if you Spirit Walked one of the side compartments to the Town Hall, and you had a direct entry into the Town Hall, you would probably face quite a lot of damage early on. Anyways, this Spirit Walk went really well, apart from that one Invis there where we lost a lot of health on the RC. I was a bit worried about her because we're going into a lot of splash damage with the Town Hall and the Poison Tower there. A little bit unfortunate that these storages are staying up and stuff, so, you know, my Valks are going to kind of split off a little bit. I delay my RC so she's not in too much damage, and we're going to overgrowth the Fire Spitter nice and early because it's quite annoying. And as you can see, the CC is coming out as well, so we've got so much splash damage. We've got the Poison Tower, we've got the Town Hall, we've got these Infernos, we've got a multi-arch tower. We're coming up on the Giga Bomb. I just decided to play it safe here. You know, I don't want my Apprentice Warden to die or anything, so I popped the Warden ability nice and early. And to be honest, it doesn't really matter in the end. I think just playing it safe here was the best bet instead of potentially letting everything die. Now, I let the Rage Tower trigger there before overgrowthing it again, so that these defenses, I don't have to worry about them being raged up on the back end. And as you can see, we're looking really strong right now. Not a lot of base left. You know, we've got 70% of the base down. We still have all of the hero abilities, so yeah, I don't even know why this base is even popular. I do not think it's very good whatsoever. It's definitely more of like an esports style of base, but even then it probably wouldn't even do well in esports. So yeah, this is a 3-star. I hate to break it to you. We're going to freeze the 2 scary defenses there, and let's get into the next hit. Okay, 7th attack, no clean transition. I forgot to press record before attacking. Anyways, we have this really common ring base now. You'll see what goes wrong here, but this attack did not go to plan. I'm not going to spoil anything else, but we go with our usual Spirit Walk into this rage tower. I really do struggle to find a good Spirit Walk in this base. I feel like every single entry can be baited quite well. So, yeah, I mean, we went into this rage tower. It's what we normally do, but the RC doesn't go in where she normally does go in. She goes to the bomb tower, which is, of course, really bad for us. And as you can see, she is going out and not in. So I use an Invis spell to kind of redirect her, but also at the same time, we're doing a double cycle. And she goes to the builder hut here. I was hoping she would go to the other builder hut, but she goes to the scatter shot. And yeah, we're in big trouble. We did not set a path whatsoever for my root riders. We did not break the circle of defenses. So we have to use our overgrowths in a bit of a dodgy way. So we can start the root riders up really weirdly, right? So yeah, it's not looking great so far. But as you can see, there we go. We overgrowth to path the root riders, make sure they're going inward. We use a headhunter on that RC because she could have locked onto my warden, and that would have been really bad. We do get slightly trolled there. There's no furnace in the CC, only double ice column, which is, of course, I mean, it's fine, but we kind of misplaced the poison a little bit. We used the Scully spell on that mono, which is probably a waste, actually. I don't even think I needed it, but I just wanted to make sure that my king would stay alive, nice and healthy. And here, I kind of had to take the risk. We are under healing tome, so we're not, you know, it looks scary. We've got all this damage on us, but we do, yeah, as I said, we do have the healing tome. I wanted to wait for this rage tower to trigger, but for whatever reason, this rage tower just did not want to trigger. Finally, it triggers. I can overgrowth the whole thing. And yeah, let's be honest, it's not looking too great right now. We lost the RC ability, so she is going to be going crazy ahead of all of these things. We still have got the multi-gear cannon and the crusher mortar and this whole rage tower and the scatter shot and the inferno. We do have a free spell and the king and queen ability, but it's not ideal. And as you can see, my warden is not in a great spot. He dies to the Gigabomb. He just like literally ran into the Gigabomb. I don't know what he was doing. And yeah, as you can see, the queen is hanging on for dear life, but the fire splitter does go down to boogers, so we got very lucky there, I think. And the queen, yeah, she's in a bad spot. King's on the outside of the base, and yeah, it's not a great attack. I feel like it was a decent attack because, of course, that Spirit Walk went completely wrong, but nonetheless, we were able to recover this attack just about. We only have the king and the giant alive, although one multi is literally on 1 HP, and it's still doing so much damage. Yeah, it's a 3-star. Let's get into the next attack. And the final base of the day, another boring base we've seen a million times. We have this double rage ring base. Now, I was looking for a good Spirit Walk here, and I just felt that probably the entry into the monolith would be really bad. You'd probably get caught up on ice columns, and the crusher mortar would hit me. Of course, that thing is crazy good against Spirit Walk, so I decided to go into this top corner here with the RC. Now, my idea here was that hopefully she would go into the rage tower after this multi-arch tower. If she didn't, then I'd be in a little bit of trouble, but as you can see in just a moment here, she takes the turn into the scatter. Now, she kind of makes her way into this little pocket, and I had this weird idea. I just went for it. Probably don't do this in your Legends hits, it can be a little bit risky, but I decided to pop the RC ability early, just to get this Town Hall out of the way at the start of the attack. Of course, use my RC ability, but I get the Town Hall down, so, you know, maybe a good trade, maybe not, I don't really know, but it was kind of fun, and I just decided to do it. Anyways, you go with the Ice Column to, of course, tank the Minion Prince at the start. Unfortunately, the Headhunter does get sniped there, so the Minion Prince, and actually, does he die? I don't know, whatever. Doesn't really matter, we have no town hall, so we kind of do a weird overgrowth there, as you can see on the fire splitter, the scatter shot and the multi-inferno, because when we go into this rage tower we don't want it to be at full force. Actually, the only things that are in this rage tower are the 2 ricochet cannons, and they are distracted on my king and, you know, outside stuff. And yeah, we have the, of course, crusher mortar. We tried to skelly spell it, it's getting slightly distracted, but it locks onto my RC there, and I'm not sure what even happened to my RC. I think maybe there was a headhunter on her or something, but she got slowed down there, and there's not a lot I can do to save her. I could use the free spell, but she's got no health, and she is just jumping about like crazy. Gets sniped by the mono there, so I decided to use the king ability to just push everything in the back end of the base. And yeah, I do have the overgrowth on the back side. I don't know how the rage tower even triggered, but it did, so I just decided to take that. We use the super barbs on the outside just to try and keep the funnel nice and tight into this back end. And yeah, I mean, we're looking really, really good right now. We have the free spell, which we're going to use there. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. This base is smashed. So yeah, let's get into the recap for today's hits. So all of our hits are done. We were able to go perfect, as you can see here, but we are getting slammed on defense once again. Of course, we had the one fail yesterday, which kind of set us back by 15 trophies. So yeah, whatever is what it is. I think that we're going to get a very poor rank this season. Just wasn't able to defend, and I have been kind of rushing my hits recently because I've been very busy with the real world. So yeah, perfect day. Not much else I can say really, apart from that we'll be back tomorrow. We're back tomorrow with our EOS hits, but until then, we'll see you guys later. Goodbye.